Why does it feel like effort is so detached from outcomes these days? Why does it feel like no matter how hard we work, there's no real reliable way to get ahead? Well, people don't feel unmotivated because they're lazy. They feel unmotivated because effort no longer reliably translates into preserved value or security. I think the key word here is preserved value. So I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Why isn't it working? Right? I'm doing all the right things. I'm working really hard. I'm saving for the future and I'm not spending too much, but still my pockets feel empty and it feels like no matter how hard I work, I'm not going to get ahead. So why even bother, right? There's no real incentives to work harder. So I feel horrible. Well, what used to be true is that effort and sustained effort over time would lead to building skills. Building those skills would then lead to a career, and then having a career would lead to stability. You would take time and discipline, and that would lead to predictable outcomes in the future. Right? The American dream. It was the belief that anyone, regardless of where they were born or what class they were born into, can attain their own version of success in a society in which upward mobility is possible for everyone. Right? It used to be that you could work any type of job, and if you work hard enough, you could, work your way up, even from a very low level type of career, and you could get ahead. You could save for the future. You could buy a home, start a family, or whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to travel, you could do that too eventually, just by saving and working hard and eventually getting to a more specialized field potentially. Well, what has changed? Why is that not the reality anymore? Well, this graph shows worker pace. Worker pay has not kept pace with productivity since the 1970s. Like net productivity has been increasing far faster than average wages have, hourly compensation. Intelligence compresses time, leverage, training, and hierarchy, and middle layers of work get hollowed out, right? Only certain jobs these days are protected from automation, innovation, and AI. For a long time, the general advice, even just a few years ago, was learn how to code. You'll be a very valuable asset to any company. If you learn to code, you'll have this very specialized skill that will be useful for a long period of time. Well, now AI knows how to code better than a lot of people. Intelligence compresses all these things, and these middle types of careers get hollowed out. And for a longer time, too, the jobs that have been getting hollowed out are manufacturing, physical labor jobs. We've imported a lot of those, or exported a lot of those jobs as well. So we exist in what's called a K-shaped economy. And this is true in multiple different ways. But one way with AI, 20% of job skills will become 10 times more productive and enhanced by the productivity gains of AI. And 80% of job skills will plummet to zero or trend towards zero and will be replaced by AI. AI can fill the needs that a lot of these careers would fill before. And this is true with just the economy in general, right? The 20% highest income earners and highest net worth individuals continue to become more wealthy, while the 80% on the lower end will plummet towards zero, right? Because the 20% own assets and the bottom 80% are nearly living paycheck to paycheck. So they can't afford to just park their wealth in assets. They save in dollars, they earn in dollars, and spend in dollars. So during that time, their currency is being debased. So the psychological result of this is detachment, apathy, nihilism, or extreme risk-taking. I just talked about that in the previous video, where it feels like there's gambling ads everywhere, right? Because you can't get ahead with hard work anymore, so you have to find some other edge, and people try to find that edge by getting lucky, by gambling on sports or current events, even with all these new betting platforms. And it makes sense. It's a rational response to to feel all these things in this type of economy. What causes this K-shaped economy? Well, like I talked about, the dollars people are saving in are continuing to decrease in value, while the people who own assets, those assets are constantly going up in value because they are scarce and desirable in a fiat economy where dollars lose their value every year. Again, we'll be gaslit into thinking inflation is normal, right? They'll say, well, inflation's going down, it's fine, don't worry about it. Inflation's only going to be 2% this year, so don't worry about it. Well, I'd rather not have 2% of my savings be stolen every year. And just because inflation might be 2% this year, that doesn't change the fact that $8 trillion were printed from 2020 to 2022 due to world events at the time, right? That's not going to be taken away. That value was already drained from our savings. And $2 trillion were still taken out of the system, but that's still a net addition of $6 trillion to the supply of money. So it's a simple question and equation when you think about it, but most people don't think about this. What would you rather exchange? So say you have a good that you spent time and resources and money to create, or a service that you have specialized skills and labor and time that you put into. What would you rather exchange that time, energy, and effort for? A currency, a dollar that's backed by nothing, that 8 trillion can be new units can be created with no effort, right? It took no effort and no resources to create 8 trillion new units of. Or would you rather exchange your time and effort for a type of money that has a capped supply, a enforced maximum supply that can't be changed from now until the end of time, right? It's really a simple equation. Like, what would you rather store your hard work in? A piece of paper that only has value because a powerful institution says it has value, or would you rather store your wealth in something that has an enforced supply, enforced rules, and is governed by unchangeable rules and not governed by rulers, right? It's really simple when you think about it that way. We're saving our hard work, our specialized skills and labor in a currency that's melting like an ice cube, and there's no even guarantee that our job is going to exist tomorrow. So what incentive do people still have to save in this currency where the total supply can increase by $6 trillion in 2 years? Like, that's insane. No one talks about this. No one thinks about it. People just blame high prices on corporate greed or some other type of outside factor other than printing $8 trillion. It's just crazy. If you got any value from this video, just hit the QR code in the top of the screen with a Bitcoin wallet and zap me some sats. And yeah, as always, together let's work, save, and build a brighter future with Bitcoin. I'll see you in the next video.